Hi everybody, welcome to your weekly update on the Battleground Blitz. And things are looking up for a change. The Battleground Blitz, now can't say that probably, Battleground Blitz at the point of recording this video sits at 619 million. Now this is being recorded on a Friday. I've got to do a lot of work in a very short space of time. I've got 12 days. Will I be able to make the 5k in the time frame? I really hope I do that and more, as I've been slacking. I mean, for good reason. I've got other things on at the moment, but hopefully I have live streamed on the Friday, providing Kabam don't announce like a load of stuff and I'm doing coverage of that. Hopefully over the weekend I get some time to play. But this is in a very good place at the moment. But of course the time is now to kind of push forward, because we've got an advantage. Largely given by Kabam, but also the community is rallying around a big push as it goes. Shout out to DNA 3000. Who did put together this and tag me. Thanks, DNA 3000. Always excited to see like where things are with the plotting of the trajectory, the plotting of the course, and of course what this Stark Foundation helps out. And yeah, DNA 3000 says we are on target to hit 1 billion points without Stark Foundation donations, which is something that Kabam said that because I didn't know. I don't think a lot of us knew what the gladiator circuit will mean for the push of getting to the the precipice, the top flight of this kind of like milestones with it. So without or with, does that mean that we might go higher than the 1 billion? It might do. It could mean that we could hit this kind of milestone here, this at least like milestone 22 or maybe 23. And again, that is just dependent on what extra will this Stark Foundation donations help out with. Will there be another delivery of donations towards the end of the event, especially going into we're in the last 2 weeks of it. So anything can really happen, but it's very exciting with it. So from a course, again, could give us 1.2 billion, which does come close-ish to where we were pointing at there, that milestone 23, 24 or 25. Look, positivity, milestone 25. I mean, further positivity, wouldn't it be good if we hit 1.5 billion? That would be incredible, but it's always yet to be seen with that. So DNA says about 1.2 billion, but of course that's cheating a bit because that includes a Stark Foundation donation of 100 million points. Obvious in the chart, this makes it seem like our point earning is accelerating upwards faster than it actually is. What if we remove that donation and just look at the player activity alone? So without the donation, it puts us here, which is still really interesting. Let's get a red circle into it. So we kind of like hit ourselves about there. We would be under the expectation of hitting that 1 billion if we didn't have that Stark Foundation donation. So that's massive. That really does help out where we are for the pace for the 1 billion, as DNA 3000 points out with his key. So this is good news. I'm really excited to kind of know that this is the case, and it does show an increase in activity. Now I want to enlarge this particular graph because it's got something really spectacular about it. So in event points through week 1, which you can see right here on the key, which is the green line. And the green line shows that the activity versus reward take home, I want to say, if we kind of base that on the, again, trajectory of that, of trying to get to 1 billion, it shows a lower activity. I think this is the theory that not everybody's going to rush in to do Battlegrounds right at the very start, and also they're waiting for things to kind of establish themselves. As a lot of you know, I'm a 2-week and in person. And I think a lot of people are similar in that, 2 weeks and in. I did do a bit more. For me, I did do things wrong. I kind of went like really active, fell off a cliff, and now I'm climbing back up to be slightly active. So I'm not I need to be more active in it, but it's just been quite difficult to find acceptable time. A lot of my lunch breaks at the moment are kind of covering a lot of the news stuff that's covered in MCOC, researching stuff for other bits of content, threads that need to be kind of examined and kind of figure out, what people are saying, getting data, creating my own guides and information from stuff. So yeah, there's just been stuff, and also that house stuff. We've been trying to sort out new contractors for things and stuff like that. So there's lots on. So sometimes having time for things is always very difficult. And I'm not alone. There's players that feel exactly the same. Burnout. I'm hearing a lot of burnout at the moment. I'm trying not to get so burnt out with a lot of this stuff, but it is, it's always a very risky time when you play a game that you love, but also you feel obliged to grind. Anyway, further on this one, our current projection is higher because our average points per day is increasing significantly. We can see that in our points per day for the first 2 weeks. This is where I think, again, another interesting point, the average grind. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. Okay, which you can see here. It's up, like our average points per day is up. This is something that I was always concerned about with this event, and it's good to see that players are being a little bit more active with it. And could that be the bump based on the foundation donation? Maybe, but also is it a lot of people establishing themselves now in the gladiator circuit, which is that thing, as we said, Kabam said it was going to happen. Didn't believe that Kabam when they said about it, but they had the data. They knew that things would do, because people want that deathless piece. So that's largely the reason that people are kind of going out of their way in order to go grab it. So that's why people are pushing Vibranium. That's why people are pushing into gladiator circuit. That's why they want the decent rewards. And of course, it's time to get active, people, especially in these last kind of like 2 weeks of the grind. But it's good to see that, by the way, the average is there. So there's a really nice bump in days. But I don't know if that is down to the foundation. Now, this is based on going into week 2 of this. So we're in week 3 at the moment, and that will be the surprising thing of when the big push. And I would say, people, it's time to do the big push. If you want the good rewards, you're going to have to push further and get to those 5k points. I need to do exactly the same. You can see here, this also removes the points donation. This also removes points donation. Our average points per day is rising. Bounces up and down, and most of those bounces are aligned with the Battlegrounds milestone reset days. In those days, activity is higher. So this is the once every 2 days type elements of these objectives. Right here, I've got to do that before it expires. But yeah, you see that the activity is higher at the moment. We can see in particular that we used to bounce above the below 1 billion points per hour, and now we're almost always above that rate. The big spike in the middle is not the Stark donations, by the way. It's due to the fact that the few hours the realm score mechanism stalled. That's why it dropped initially low around hour 192 and then bounced up very high as it caught up. If you want to see what the foundation donation looks like, and of course it looks like that if you kind of like put the data in all of this, it is really positive to know that there's high activity. And I don't know if people in the gladiator circuit are not getting lost in the source of the losses and wins, but definitely you can see that in those 48-hour resets of the Battlegrounds objectives, and so that's good. At least people are being proactive, and it's hopefully going to give you guys a lot of really decent rewards if you are willing to get involved with it. Some more details here from from DNA 3000, which we'll kind of like cover, talk about some of these, but yeah. Our average point earnings have increased overall by 30% over the last 2 weeks of the event. We cannot necessarily assume they will continue to rise at that rate, but there is every reason to believe they will continue to rise. Participation generally increases in the second half of the Battleground season. There are also still Elder Marks in locked milestones that will continue to fuel a lot of activity in the short term and continue to increase Gladiator Circuit population, which will increase average point earnings per match by some amount. Conservatively, I don't know if I said that right. Conservatively, there we go. Though it will, if we continue at the reduced rate of point acceleration. We should easily hit 1 billion points scored by the players by the end of the month. The Start Foundation donations will just be gravy. I think they will be icing on the cake, so to speak. They'll be the cherry on the cake. They'll be the added extras that give us the further milestones. That is great news, and it could you could definitely see like how things are going. It's great. I just need to pull my finger out and get on with the stuff. Although, have we reached the fun stuff? No, I'm looking forward to hitting the fun stuff. You know, the 1 billion. I think we'll hit that if what, in about 7 days will we hit that? Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe it's kind of more closer to the end. Maybe like, 9 days in or something. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good grinding. And look, I'm going to stress this now. This will be your last chance. Like, get active now to try and get up to those 5k points. It's a lot of grinding if you're doing it fresh from, say, bronze. But it's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to feel like it's a slog and it's going to feel like a grind, but this will benefit your roster. If you're a new player to the game, then, and are willing to put up with the pain of pushing to 5k, just think what it can do to your account. Like, I think M's on, like, she's pushing in the 2000s now for points, maybe up to 3,000 by this weekend, and maybe by the end of the event, just get that 5k. That's a Cavalier player that's casual with the game that could be picking up a Titan Crystal, like a Beta Ray Bill or an Enchantress, another 7-star, 2 7-stars. Like, it could really change your roster with it if you're willing to put up with it for 1 month. That's just elevates the roster. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's been your update on the Battleground Blitz situation. Check out some other content located on screen. I'll see you all soon. Have a lovely day and goodbye.